Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Jackson County couple is behind bars after trying to sell their twins. And a Senate bill that wants to regulate adult businesses could soon be heading to the governor's desk.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6:30 on Wednesday, March 20th. Now let's check in with meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast this morning.
Good morning, Olivia. Good morning, everyone. First full day of spring. It's feeling like it this morning. And we can start to see the outline of the horizon with twilight. We're in the mid-40s outside our door here at WYMT. In the meantime, we have got an elevated fire risk again today. It's been dry and the breeze will be an issue, gusty in nature at times heading through the afternoon. Cold front swings through late this afternoon to this evening, bringing in colder air. Yes, a hard freeze tomorrow morning again, and cooler regarding the rest of the day as well. Temperature-wise, we're all in the 40s minus Harlan now. Checking in at 39 across the state line. It's in the 20s at Jonesville, mid-30s at UVA-Wise. And we do have a good southerly, southwesterly component of the wind across Tennessee into Kentucky, bringing in that milder air. But it's a cold front to the north and west that'll swing through to provide some cloud cover issues late in the day and the colder day for tomorrow. In the meantime, we're up to 62 for a high in hazard this afternoon. More about your First Alert 7-day forecast coming up through this half hour. Olivia?
Tim, thank you. An Eastern Kentucky radio icon has died. Little Jim Morgan was a radio broadcaster for 55 years before retiring in 2019. Morgan earned his broadcasting license at the age of 15. Morgan's dad, James, or Big Jim, started his radio broadcasting career in 1946 at WHLN in Harlan. We do not know funeral arrangements for Little Jim Morgan at this time, but we will have that for you on WYMT.com once we find out. A Jackson County couple is behind bars after police say they tried to sell their newborn twins. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office charged Jacqueline Keith and Zachary Davis with promoting human trafficking. Jeremy Toms talked with deputies about the alleged sale.
Chief Deputy Zachary Bryant with the Jackson County Sheriff's Office says he just learned of human trafficking allegations in their community on Monday.
Fortunately, this is the first time I've had to charge this, and it wouldn't bother me if I didn't have to charge it ever again.
High on a hill in the Sand Gap community, down a winding Lodge Hall road, is where Bryant interviewed Zachary Davis and Jacqueline Keith. Bryant says the couple was trying to sell their twins, who were less than 1 year old, for $5,000.
Well, Jackson County is very small. I think population's around 13,000. Pretty much everybody knows everybody, and it is a sad situation.
Dr. Teresa Hayden with the PATH Coalition of Kentucky says cases like this one are known as familial trafficking. She says as difficult as it can be to report on a loved one, that is often the most crucial step that you can take.
It's a hidden crime, and it is going on right in front of our eyes. To have a family member to go and report this it's extraordinary.
Davis and Keith's arrest citations show their sister-in-law went to the authorities. The couple claims they wouldn't actually have gone through it. Dr. Hayden won't excuse their actions, but tried to explain reasons why someone might do this.
Life circumstances are tough. To have two infants at the same time, it can be overwhelming. Instead of discharge, we recognize this couple is not ready to be parents. Then what can we do to help prevent that before we send them out our door?
In Jackson County, Jeremy Toms, WYMT Mountain News.
Court documents show Keith and Davis are due in court on March 25th at 9:30 a.m. They are each being held in the Jackson County Detention Center on a $10,000 bond. An Ohio man and woman are facing charges after police found approximately 1 kilogram of suspected meth during a traffic stop in Johnson County. KSP Post 9's drug interdiction team arrested 20-year-old Michaela Garner and 22-year-old Antoine Freedom, both of Akron, Ohio, last week. Along with the drug charge, Garner also faces a speeding violation. Garner and Freeman were taken to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. Police charged a Union College football player with assault. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox tells us what we know about the incident.
Police arrested Tony Norman Saturday morning. The citation said police received a physical domestic complaint. Once arriving at the scene, police said they found the victim crying. Police said they then discovered red marks on her body. Police said they then arrested Norman, who was living on campus, with no further incident. He was taken to the Knox County Detention Center. Norman is listed on the Union College football roster. Administrators released a statement to WYMT saying, quote, "We are aware of an off-campus incident involving a student and a non-student. As a matter of policy, we do not comment on ongoing litigation. We will await the outcome of the legal process before determining any further action," end quote. WYMT reached out to the attorney representing Tony Norman and have not yet heard anything back. In Barberville, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
A controversial mural has caused debate on the University of Kentucky's campus for decades now. When UK announced the planned removal of the mural back in 2020, a lawsuit was filed halting those plans. Some have taken issue with the mural's depiction of enslaved African Americans. The mural was installed by Anne O'Hanlon back in 1934. Hanlon's niece, Tanya Berry, and her husband, Wendell, filed the lawsuit. This week, a judge granted the university's motion to dismiss the lawsuit, writing that the Berrys lack standing to bring this action.
I think if people think it's offensive, then they should get rid of it. Obviously, I haven't seen it in person, but it doesn't seem like it's something that needs to be up anymore.
UK spokesperson Jay Blanton says the school is pleased with the judge's decision. He says the school's intent remains to maintain and move the mural, but he could not speak about the next steps. Parents awaited answers outside of Madison County High School after a lockdown Tuesday morning. Police say they are investigating a possible swatting call. 3 hours later, the school lifted its lockdown. Even though students are safe, parents are still coming to terms with what could have been.
You're in shock, not knowing that it's this close to home. You hear it in other places, but to know that it's close to home, it really, sinks in reality. It happens.
Madison County Schools posted on Facebook thanking everyone for their support, encouragement, and patience during this process. A bill to limit and regulate adult-oriented businesses in the state is another step closer to the governor's desk. Senate Bill 147 cleared a House committee yesterday afternoon and now heads to the floor for a vote. The bill no longer specifies drag shows, but does look to limit adult-oriented businesses and performances from being within one city block of a place where children might be, like a school, church, or public building.
What in the world are we thinking? How can we be for somebody dressing up like a lady or like a woman and reading books to our kids?
Only 2 representatives voted no on the bill in yesterday's committee hearing. Both are Democrats from Northern Kentucky. Officials with Congressman Hal Rogers' office say they have secured funding worth $5 million for one Eastern Kentucky county. The $5 million will go toward improving the water system in Martin County. Officials say about $18.5 million has been secured for water and wastewater improvements since 2017. We have more about this at WYMT.com. And officials with Congressman Rogers' office also say $45 million is secured for Somerset's northern bypass. The new road will connect the Hal Rogers Parkway at the Kentucky 461 interchange to the Cumberland Parkway at the US 27 interchange. The northern bypass will seamlessly connect the new interchange that was completed last year at Kentucky 461 and Kentucky 80 in Pulaski County. We also have more about this at WYMT.com. The search for Kentucky's next education commissioner is down to one finalist. Interviews for the 3 candidates started Monday. The Board of Education was considering finalist Buddy Berry, Robbie Fletcher, and Jim Flynn. The Kentucky Department of Education just announced they voted to enter into contract negotiations with one of those finalists, but they did not say who. The name of the candidate will be announced if the contract is approved.
And a good Wednesday to you. Temperature-wise, this is looking nice for what, 6:37 in the morning? 40s across eastern and southern Kentucky, across the state line. Cooler, Jonesville, Wise, over toward Grundy. Told you, upper 20s at Grundy. So needless to say, we got to kind of mix things up, pick up the wind your way, like the rest of us were enjoying this morning with a southerly and southwesterly wind component. We look to the north and west, just beyond Champaign and Quincy. There is a cold front up that way, and it's going to be screaming this way, meaning hauling down, really moving fast. And yes, that means until then, we get to enjoy the sunshine before some late day cloud cover issues and a forecast high late this afternoon, getting into the lower 60s. Behind the front, it's a shot of cold air. How cold, you're asking? We'll let you know. First Alert 7-day forecast coming up in a few moments. Olivia?
Thanks, Tim, and thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:41. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. A man who was placed on the no-fly list will finally have his day in court after a new Supreme Court ruling.